to request Ahmedabad branch of ICASA to play the ICI motto.
Shruti, you allow me to share the screen. I'll do that.
Sir, I'm not the host.
Just a minute. Shruti, can you contact to the branch who is there currently?
There was somebody called Shehzad who texted me saying that he's the one who
Shehzad bhai, are you there?
made me a co-host.
Yeah, Kavisha, just a minute. Shehzad bhai, are you there? I'll just call him. Just a minute. Huh? Just a minute, Kavisha. We'll be just starting in a minute.
Oh, sure, no worries.
Yeah, so we'll be starting in a minute. He's just making me the host, I think. Yeah. So I'll play the ICI motto first.
येष सुप्तेषु जागृति येष सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामंशो पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः निर्मिमाणः तदेव शुक्लं तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता
So good evening all. I would like to take the session forward. So learning is a part of lifestyle, just like communicating. intentionally or unintentionally, we learn new things every day, every hour, and every minute. And Paramarsh is just a step forward towards learning new things. What I believe is investment in yourself will never bear you the losses. Carrying this thought, today we are going to learn about building self-esteem and self-confidence, and also about some public speaking hacks, which is really the need of the hour. So, taking the session forward, I would like to request C. Harit Dhaliwal sir to give the welcome address.
Thank you, Shruti. So, respected faculty for the session, Kavisha ji, the Vikasa office bearers, and all the students who are joining right now virtually, and all those who will be watching it later on the recorded session. A very good evening to everyone. On behalf of the Ahmedabad branch of Vikasa and Ahmedabad branch, I welcome you all to this yet another very important session of Paramarsh, which is on a topic which is relevant to all of us, being you as students and we even as professionals, because confidence in public speaking is something which we all have to face in day in and day out. So as a student, I would just request you to, to imagine these following three situations in your life. First and foremost, your exams are coming, and those who are preparing for November exams, 10 days, just 10 days to go. How you feel yourself, low on confidence, that is first. Second, suppose your principal has given an assignment which you are totally unaware of. How are you going to deal with it? Again, comes to confidence. And third, and very important, is also interview, because after clearing your CA finals, you will be going for an interview. Again, there is confidence is what would be required. So this is something which we all should build in. And I think series like Paramarsh, which is giving you so many different topics, and I'm sure today's session is going to be equally enriching. And I'm very happy to see Kavisha ji here as one of the faculty, today's faculty, because she is one who has been training the corporates across the world with such an experience, and we are so lucky to have her here. And thank you so much, Kavisha ji, for sparing your valuable time. And I'm sure all the students would be enlightened with your session. And I would request all the students to make the most of this opportunity. Those who are live, listening to her live, she is an expert in this field. I think she has delivered a session for the CA members also now recently. So we are so happy to see her as a part of this Paramarsh series for Ahmedabad branch. And please have a very interactive session, and wishing you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Harit. Okay, so without wasting much time, I think I'm just gonna first share
Ma'am,
my
just a minute.
screen.
I think I don't know if you have been introduced. I think Shruti, if somebody can please introduce ma'am. You need to unmute, Shruti. Shruti, you need to unmute.
So, having worked with Deloitte and Boston Consulting Group, Kavisha ma'am realized the importance of soft skills in different areas of each of our lives. Technical skills are very important, but behavioral skills are what will make one individual stand out from the crowd and grow up to the corporate ladder faster. She's a certified soft skills and image consultant and has her expertise in experiential training methodologies. So, I would like to request Kavisha ma'am to take the session forward.
Thank you so much, Shruti, for that introduction. And thank you, Mr. Harit. Okay, without wasting much time, I'm going to start because we're already running a little late. So, today's topic is going to be related to confidence building. I'm going to share certain experiences, what I have faced in my life, and how I have managed to climb up the ladder and become an international trainer at a very young age. At the same time, I'm going to share how can you actually talk in front of an audience with confidence, even if you're not aware about certain things. How can you carry out yourself? So, starting with the session on confidence building, my first question to you guys is, what is confidence according to y'all? I want y'all to, whoever wants to answer, please unmute yourself and start talking. Because if y'all don't talk today, y'all are never going to talk. So, today is going to be an icebreaker for everybody who's attending live. I want y'all to speak up throughout the session. I want to hear everybody's voice once, at least once, because this is where you'll have to start. Nobody is going to judge you here, nobody is going to pass any comments here. You don't have to worry about anything. So please unmute yourself and start answering whenever there's a question. If y'all have a question, if y'all haven't understood, please ask questions. Okay, so yeah, coming back to my question, what do y'all mean by confidence? What does the word confidence mean to you?
Hello?
For me,
Okay.
Yes.
yeah. For me, confidence is the trust upon yourself, not to self-doubt yourself, and to face anything that comes in your path. For me, confidence is that.
Okay. That's great. Yes. Anybody
Ye-
else?
Yeah, for me, confidence is speaking without the fear of being judged.
Okay. Yes. Anybody else?
May I speak, ma'am?
Anybody? Hmm? Yes,
Yes,
Jay?
confidence is basically a trust which may be upon others or on self. So
Okay.
what I understand is that it is a trust, nothing else.
It's basically a trust, is what you're trying to say, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That is true. Anybody else wants to have a go with it, or we'll go ahead? Okay. So,
Confidence would be a state of mind which
okay,
someone possesses and someone would not.
correct. Okay. Yes, it is definitely a state of mind. And on what basis can one say that I am confident or I am not confident? Why would you make that statement? Today, if I'm asking a question, how many of y'all are confident? And if y'all answer that, oh, okay, I am confident or I am not confident. So, on what basis, what are the reasons that make you say that I am confident or I'm not confident? Can you all share the reasons?
For example, with respect to exams, if you're not prepared well, so you can say that you're not confident because your preparation level is not so good. So
Correct.
I can determine that basis for that.
Okay, that's great. Very relatable, I think, to all the students right now. Anybody else? On what basis or on what reasons do you guys pass this statement saying that I am confident or I'm not confident? Why do you say that?
No, I think practice is something which plays a huge role in confidence. Like when we practice things, then we
Okay.
feel more confident about the same.
Okay.
And we are
Yes,
not
practice.
yeah, when we don't have, we have not practiced enough, then we feel that we are not confident enough.
Correct. 100%. Practice is definitely a part of it. Okay. So basically, the reason why people say that I am not confident are first is the fear of judgment. We basically live on other people's statement, and trust me, we actually do, whether we like it or not, or whether we agree to it or not. But for us, it is more important for others to say something rather than for ourselves to tell ourselves what is the right thing to do. We will still be dependent on other person's comment. So one is the fear of judgment, which is the biggest fear, and 80% of the people face this particular problem. Second is the fear of ridicule. All of us have made like assumptions in our own head. We have just basically put ourselves out there in that one corner thinking that, okay, I cannot do this. That person thinks that I'm useless. And that person would have said it probably in an angry tone once, or somebody would have told you in your childhood, and you will be carrying that baggage throughout yourself, which will make you say that I am not a confident person. Need for approval. You are constantly needing somebody's approval. Like, I need my mom to tell me that, no, you look good, you've dressed appropriately. I need my boss to tell me after every 15 days that, Kavisha, you've done great work. Kavisha, we've actually achieved this because of you. Kavisha, you've done, you've made sure that we've finished our project before time. So I need constant approval from people around me. Next is need for acknowledgement and acceptance. For me, what happens is a lot of times basically we don't accept ourselves, and this is the biggest mistake that I had done in my like almost 4 to 5 years back. I never accepted myself for the person who I am. for what I do and for what I was known as in a particular field. I never accepted myself, and that's why I used to be like, oh, I can't do this. Anybody would come up to me and they would talk to me, I'd be like, I'm sorry, but I don't even know how to do this. Sometimes I would even know how to actually do it. I will have a solution. I will be able to contribute 110%. But I was just really scared because I thought that no, that person might just not take my opinion. No, that person is just, he or she will just be like, she doesn't know much. What is she going to do? She's so like small, she's so young. What is she going to bring on the table? So I needed constant acceptance from others, not from myself, not from within, but by others. Next is hangover from the past. So there are certain things that has happened to me, or it could have happened to y'all or anybody, where people have made comments to us saying that you won't be able to do it, you're not capable enough to do it, you actually don't have the ability to do it, or you've constantly been compared saying that your brother is better, your sister is better, you basically, we have to push you, look at that other person, look at your other siblings, look at your other cousins, they're so independent, they do everything and they always excel in what they do. So constantly there has been some baggage associated with me that I have carried it for 25 years of my life. Next is suffer in imaginations. So suffer in imagination is more like, before I actually talk, before I take any step, I have made a bubble in my own head, which is nothing but a block which tells me, Kavisha, you can't do it. Kavisha, people are going to laugh at you. You can't even walk straight. Look at you. You're so short. You're so small. Look at you and then look at the other speakers out there. There's so much of difference. How are you going to perform? So this is nothing but my own mind block. I have made it for myself. Nobody has made these comments and nobody has told me anything. But I have told myself these things. So as students, probably if you all have excelled all the 3 exams in CA in the first go, it's amazing. But even if you've not done it in the first go, it's still amazing. All of y'all are still trying. All of y'all have still taken that step and that initiative, which not everybody does. So in fact, I would appreciate and people who are doing it like after the 5th time or the 6th time, because they have consistency, they have passion, and that is what we all require. They have that confidence in them to actually get up again and do it and then prove it to the world that yes, I can do it. So it's not about, okay, once I fail, I have to feel bad. There's exam pressure, there's this pressure, I won't be able to do anything else but only do this. No, everybody will be able to balance things in life. And we're going to be talking about that as well. Comparisons. All of us have been compared back in the days, whether it's your school or whether by parents, if you've got a sibling, or if you're working in a corporate office by your colleagues, your bosses will tell you this colleague is so much more better. They might not tell you on your face, but you already know the way that boss behaves. So comparisons is something a lot of times people don't tell us, but we tell ourselves that, okay, no, I'm being compared, even though the other person's not comparing us, which we need to get rid of completely in our social DNA. But surely, if it's in our social DNA, then don't you think everybody would have gone through this? And if they have been able to overcome it and they have mastered the skill of confidence, then why can't we do it today? Even those who frighten us have been frightened at some point in life. All the people who are known in the world today, whether it's Sundar Pichai or whether it's Mark Zuckerberg or whether it's our Prime Minister or anybody, they have all had their past. They have all had the issue where at some point in time, they were scared. They were scared of people. They were scared of audience. They couldn't talk. But they have managed to overcome it. And how they've overcome it, we shall share and talk about it as well ahead. So can everyone, and anyone become confident? Can anyone and everyone overcome the fear of speaking in front of an audience? What do you all think? Yes or no? Can
Definitely
everybody do it?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
perfect. Perfect. All of us can do it. So, what is confidence? It's basically a skill that can be developed just like a muscle that needs to be built. So how when we start the gym, it takes us time, right? We can't go to the gym the first day and then start lifting like 5 kgs. I don't think anybody can do it until and unless you've practiced it for years. But I am 100% sure that today, whether you're 20 years old or you're 40 years old or you're 60 years old, the first day when you go to the gym, you're not going to lift like 5 kgs or 7 kgs bundles. It's not possible. It's impossible. And even if it's possible, there's going to be like basically your arm will start hurting, your back will start hurting, your entire body will start paining. So there will be a lot of pain because it's always said, correct? You will not gain anything without actually going through the pain, the real pain in life. So, confidence is just like that. It's basically a skill that will require efforts, that will put you in uncomfortable situations where you have to fight and come out from your comfort zone to master it. It's not going to happen overnight. It will happen for sure, but give it some time. But when you're giving it time, make sure you're 100% into that thing. Don't let it dwell on you at times. Just push yourself and push yourself and push yourself. Okay, so now confidence is a state of mind. It is nothing but a belief on yourself and on your own abilities that you can do it. A self belief, even when you don't have the ability. The willingness to take up the challenge without saying no, without saying maybe, without saying, let me think. If you're a person who's confident and if somebody asks you today that, are you ready for this? You're just going to say yes. A lot of times you might not be 100% ready, but even though you're 80% ready, you have the time to become 100% ready and prove yourself out there. Therefore, the courage to try and do it. Confidence is nothing but to show that you actually have the courage in you to try and do and show. I would say try, do, fail, and then show, stand up and succeed. That is how it works. And if you fail, get up, learn, move on, and try to do the same thing again. And that is what I think a lot of people do when they go through, when they basically sign up for the CA exams, because you have to be consistent. You can't just give up in between. You have to be super consistent because it's not something that's going to be very easy. You're going to pass, you're going to be failing, you're going to have struggles, you're going to be like, oh, I can't do this. It's going to be very stressful, but no, you have the confidence in you, which will push you and help you prove yourself to be a person which says that, yes, I am a qualified chartered accountant today. And then you all will get a job as well. So don't leave that hope. Now, tell me one thing, where is confidence needed and how does confidence actually help us? Why do we all want to become confident in life? Please unmute yourself and talk.
Ma'am, confidence helps us in every aspect of life. Actually, it is needed everywhere. And it helps us that it creates a very good first impression about a person, that yes, it is confident, that he or she is confident. And so it helps build up an impression about a person, a good impression about a person.
Okay. Yes. Yes, Ashley, that's absolutely true. That's great. Anybody else?
According to me, confidence is needed. We humans are goal oriented persons, so confidence is the major kick, major prime booster for reaching us to that goal, to attain that goal.
Okay. Yes. So we need, correct. Yes, Radha. Anybody else?
कॉन्फिडेंस के बारे में ये बोलना चाहूंगी कि कॉन्फिडेंस जब हमें किसी को अपनी बात समझानी हो, कोई भी जब मैटर के उसमें हमें जब हमारी बात के हमें सामने वाले का सपोर्ट चाहिए हो, तो हम बात को इस वे में कहें कि जो कॉन्फिडेंस से लगे और सभी हमारा साथ में दे।
करेक्ट। पर अगर सबने साथ नहीं दिया तो क्या डज दैट मीन यू विल लूज योर कॉन्फिडेंस और नो?
एक्चुअली मतलब इसका बेस्ट एग्जांपल मैं यूँ बोलूँ तो अगर जैसे पीएम मोदी सिर्फ अगर बोलते हैं मित्रों बोलते हैं, तो जिसमें ऐसा रहता है कि नहीं वो अपनेपन से बुला रहे हैं, उनका एक अलग से वे ऑफ टॉकिंग रहता है, कॉन्फिडेंस होता है। या अगर उन्होंने बोल दिया कि नहीं ये चीज करनी है, तो लोग यही इसी कॉन्फिडेंस से बोले कि नहीं मोदी जी ने बोला है तो करना है।
करेक्ट।
मतलब वो कॉन्फिडेंस उनकी स्पीच में, उनके वे ऑफ में लगना चाहिए। अगर राहुल गांधी कुछ भी बोल दे, जैसे लाइक पॉलिटिकल में नहीं जाना चाहिए, बट एक बता रही हूँ तरीके में, अगर मान लो किसी ने इस तरह से अनकॉन्फिडेंट होके बोली, या उनका वे ऑफ टॉकिंग ऐसा है ही नहीं कि सामने वाला बंदा उनसे कन्विंस हो, तो उसका कोई मतलब नहीं रह जाता, इफेक्टिव नहीं रहता वो कम्युनिकेशन।
बराबर। यस अंजलि, दैट्स ट्रू। पर आई वुड ओनली हैव अगेन वन क्वेश्चन दैट टुडे अगर लोग आपका साथ छोड़ दे, if you do not get their support and you know that you are right, so do you think you need the confidence to move on, or you will go and support the crowd? What will you do?
Obviously, I will try again and I will change my strategy. मतलब हो सकता है कि अगर कोई गलती हमारी तरफ से हो रही है, तो हमें अपने ऊपर काम करके उसको सुधारना चाहिए।
ओके।
Con-
पर अगर गलती
confidence
आपकी
is
ना हो,
mainly
try again and move on करके।
Okay, okay. Yes, somebody else was saying something.
Yes, confidence is mainly required for internal satisfaction. I guess before impressing someone else, we should impress ourselves. If we are confident, then does not matter if the whole world is against us or with us.
Correct. Absolutely, Mr. Mahek. This is the right approach. We do not have to live on anybody else's approval or opinion. Today, if we are satisfied with ourselves, I'll give you a very small example. A lot of people who have like acne on their skin, on their face, they don't have like nice skin, like, and they'll be like, I just can't look in front of the mirror. I feel so bad. Like, just look at me and then look at other people, look at my friends, look at their skin, look at the way they carry themselves out, and then look at me. But if I am a person, even though I have acne, nobody really cares about acne. People care about the knowledge that I have, the value that I bring on the table. How good of a person am I by heart? Am I a helpful person? Am I a confident person? Do I have good relations? People care about these things. People don't really care about, oh, whether I have pimples or no on my face. So if somebody, even though they have pimples on their face, but they have these qualities to carry out themselves, they are happy from within, like literally they're self-satisfied, nobody can comment or nobody will be able to bring them down. Even if they want to make fun of that person, they won't be able to make fun of that person, because that person has created that impression that, okay, no matter what, I am still the best. Nobody really cares about the looks. I still look beautiful because I have a very good heart. That is what people care about. Because the day when I say something bad about myself, or the day when I'm like, I'm changing myself for others or giving up on my opinion for the other person's opinion, I have lost myself to others. Then I will become a part of that crowd that even if there's something that's a little wrong that's happening on the side, I will still be okay with it. In fact, not okay with it, I'll become a part of it, even though I know it's something wrong. And we don't have to do that. And that is where we say that no, the reason we need confidence is because we need to be happy from within. We need to be self satisfied. It is nothing but your state of mind. Just believe in yourself. Believe. Believing is like one of the major aspect of confidence. believing in yourself more than anything else in the world.
Ma'am, I would just like to add on that even confidence comes from acceptance of oneself. Acceptance
Absolutely.
is
If
the
until you don't accept yourself, you will never be able to become confident.
yeah.
Absolutely, Yashvi. And Mahek has also said that confidence helps in creating impressions. Absolutely. Sorry, Tanmay has said that. So, Tanmay, I would like if you can also unmute and then talk. That will be a first step for you to come out of your comfort zone today. So, yeah, moving forward. Now we're going to go on to we require confidence in every part of our lives. It is something that will help us feel good about ourselves and they will help us release and give positive and happy emotions. It will not only help us academically, but it will also help us upgrade our technical skills. And why do I say that? Because today, if all of y'all are like, I'm sure all of y'all are going to become chartered accountants. If not today, if not after a year, then 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. But you already now have possessed the technical knowledge. So once you go for your job interviews, you will already have the technical knowledge. You will already know how to file returns. You will have answers to all those technical and complicated questions related to your topic, related to finance. But what about presenting yourself in a better way? If you can get an extra edge there, if you're a person who's open minded, if you're a person who has an open body language, if you are a person who shows confidence in your body language and with fluent communication skills, you have already won half the battle. And trust me, you have. Because people really look at those aspects. Yes, technical knowledge is important and is very important. But your behavioral skills is even more important. So again, I can share an example here. While I was working with Deloitte and I had gone for my interview there, and even with Boston Consulting Group, I actually had a lot of other people with me. And I had a lot of other people who also had like 4 years or more experience than what I had. Because when I joined Deloitte, I was actually a fresher and still I was hired. But whereas somebody who had even like 3 years or 5 years of experience, they weren't a part of Deloitte. Why? Because they literally saw something when it comes to the way I was talking, the way I presented myself. I definitely have the technical knowledge that they had because I had studied that, what they had also studied. We were at par when it comes to academic skills. But what was that extra edge that I had that they didn't have? I had one, the way I looked and presented myself. Second was the way I spoke. Third was my body language. I was very calm. I didn't like panic, even though I didn't know something. I was honest. And in fact, I accepted the fact that I don't know the answer. There was a question which was asked to me to which I did not have an answer. Forget about having an answer. I did not even know what that word means. But I had the courage to tell the person who was taking my interview, saying that I am sorry, but I did not understand the question in the first place. And then when I understood the question, I did not have an answer. So I made it very clear. I was very honest to him that, okay, I do not know the answer to this, but this is what I think this is the potential answer to your question. But I can do my research and get back to you for sure. I can prove it to you that give me only 6 hours or 12 hours, but I will get back to you with that answer and with the right answer. I have that confidence in me. So that is why we focus on the behavioral skills along with the technical skills. So when you are confident as a person, it will enhance your technical skills and your academic skills. When you're confident, you will talk more. And that is the time when you will start voicing your own opinion. And once you start voicing your own opinion, people will hear your voice. People will know who you are. In fact, they will start saying, oh my God, like this person talks. He talks so well. He or she actually knows the content. That person has the knowledge. And the last thing is we believe in you. That is nothing but we believe in ourselves because you believe in yourself. Why would somebody else believe in me? Tell me that. If I don't believe in myself, why would somebody else believe in me today? Nobody is going to believe in me. But the day I believe in myself and the day when I prove it to them and show how confident a person I am, everybody will want to talk to me. They will approach. They will be like, okay, hi, how are you? I want to be friends with you. You will have friends. You will make connections. Your networking will increase. People will come and talk to you. And that is nothing but a little bit of booster to your existing confidence level, which is always good. The way we see ourselves determines how others look at us. How we see ourselves is what influences our confidence. Our identity is our governor. I've just spoke about these things in detail right now. So how can we really work on our confidence? What are certain things that we need to do to actually make ourselves more confident and make ourselves more approachable as compared to the others? Anybody wants to have a go at this? What do you all think we should do to make ourselves confident? Any tips that you all would like to share that you all have experienced and practiced in your life? Anybody? Nobody?
Ma'am, I think the way we carry ourselves, it
Okay.
really makes a difference
Okay.
on how confident we feel, because the way we dress and the way we carry ourselves, I think that plays an important
Oh,
role.
so that's basically appearance is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, appearance as well
Yes.
as yeah, the way we talk and represent ourselves.
Communication and
Yeah,
appearance.
communication skills.
Yes, absolutely. That's true. Anybody else?
Basically, according to me, more than the appearance, if you work on your inner restructuring or for your inner building, for example, to have the positive mindset, how we can develop a positive mindset through various books, attending the workshops, and like seminars like you are doing. So it gives us a boost that how we can improve ourselves to the highest extent, and you can develop your personality.
Correct. Absolutely, Radha. Absolutely. You're right. We have to work from within because when we work from within, it'll reflect on the outer side. Anybody else? Anybody else
I
has a
said
different?
I said before that acceptance is the key.
Yes, Yashvi.
Sorry, sorry.
I can't hear you, Yashvi. Okay.
Hello. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Tell me.
So yeah. So acceptance for me is how to get confidence. For example, like if I'm insecure about something about me, like my weight or like my something like that, then I'm not confident about it and I can't carry myself. But if I accept that this is what it is and I can enhance it and make it better, then it will help to me to be confident. So accepting myself that this is how
Acceptance.
it's gonna be.
Yes, absolutely. Acceptance is definitely one of the major factors of self-confidence. And I agree to it. Absolutely.
Confidence can't really be worked on. It's how we build it, how we carry ourselves. That is how we conduct ourselves. Today, a 20-year-old can be more confident than a 40-year-old.
Oh,
That is how
absolutely.
that is how he has conducted himself or herself between people within herself, and how he accepted that what he is, and he is confident within herself or himself.
Absolutely. 110%. Like a 20-year-old can definitely be way more confident than what a 40-year-old will be, even though he has way more experience. But he's just not able to show it or put it in the right way or portray it in the right way. So, yes, that's definitely one of the key factors. Okay, so there are certain issues or there are certain thoughts that all of us have, which I'm going to share. And this, if we are able to, basically make sure that they are converted into a positive thought, then we will be able to overcome our fears very quickly, and we will be able to become those people who are going to be more confident in life when we go for our interviews in our working professional lives. So the first one is rewiring the brain and changing your beliefs. First, accepting the fears. This is something that all of us are very, very, very scared to do. We do not want to accept our fears. We don't want to accept our fears, failures, rejections. But it's extremely important to accept it. If it has happened, it has happened. We can't do anything with it. In fact, if it has happened, we should make sure that we learn a lesson out of that and then move on in our life and not sit back in that one corner on the side. Second is, by accepting your fear, you're really not making, you're not going to make a crime. You're not going to be one of those people who will become like saints, or people who are just like out there sitting and they don't really care about themselves. In fact, you will become one of the person who doesn't like yourself at all if you don't accept yourself the way you are. The time when you don't accept your fears, the time when you don't accept yourself, that is the biggest failure of your life. You're not giving anybody else to tell you that, hey, you failed in your life. You are giving a chance to yourself, and you're telling yourself that you already failed in your life and you can never get up again. So that is where you have to push yourself by accepting the fear, accepting it and saying it, okay, I am scared of this. Let me work on that. My English language, for example, my English language is not good. It's fine. Let me work on my language. Let me read more books. Let me watch more Netflix shows. Let me learn 5 new words every day. I will not only improve my English language, I will improve my grammar, I will improve my vocabulary, and it will become so fluent that after 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months, you will become an expert in that field. And it will not be a fear anymore the day when you accept it. Next, decide to face that fear so that your past will not dictate your future. Like I said, if you do not accept your fear, you will never be able to move on in life. Testing the limiting beliefs. This is very important. This is nothing but we basically have put in our head that, okay, this is the limitation for yourself. This is it's only 80% where you can reach. You will not be able to reach 100%. And we have told our mind. Nobody has told us this. We have proved it in our mind subconsciously. We've told ourselves, and we've told ourselves so many times that now our subconscious mind is dominating our normal mind. So even if my normal mind tells me that, no, Kavisha, you can do it, your subconscious mind will basically slap your normal brain and will be like, okay, you can't do this. You're not made to do this. Just sit in that corner, and it will do anything and everything to bring you down and to pull you down. Next, replacing it with positive perspectives. Anything that's happening that's negative in your life, try and replace it with a positive thought. So even if you fail, try and convert it into something which will become a win in a short duration. It's fine you failed once. It's fine if you've not been able to clear your first interview. You've not been able to clear your second interview. In fact, if you've not got a job in a big four, but if you've got a job in a startup, it's absolutely fine, because the learning that you'll get there in that 2 or 3 years will help you to actually become a manager or a deputy manager or a senior manager in the big four corporate job profiles. So it will not only push you to perform better, but you will get so many learnings out of that, that not a person who's got like a big four job from the initial days will know how to do it. Because there's a lot of difference when you work in a startup, when you work in a mid-sized, and when you work in a big four. We all aim for big four. We all want to get the best jobs, the best pay packages. But it does not mean that if you get into another organization, which is a mid-sized or a startup, it's something small. No, it's equally big, because the learnings that you will get there, I don't think you will get it anywhere else. You won't even get it in a big firm. So don't have that mindset, and don't feel bad or sorry if you're not able to clear it. You try your 100%, you try your 200%, but after trying and after being satisfied with all the trials that you've done, don't get disappointed if you don't clear your interviews. Just keep on trying and trying. And if you're not able to clear one interview, identify, okay, where did I go wrong? Did I not do well in my group discussion? Did I not do well in my one-on-one interviews? Did I not do well in my written assessment? Where did I go wrong? And how can I improve myself? So probably if you didn't clear in one of the corporates, it's fine. You might just get selected for the other corporate. But that will happen only if you convert that negative into a positive by actually learning it. It's not a mistake. When you do it once, it's a mistake. But when you do it the second time, it's not a mistake. It's basically a habit, or you're just doing it purposely, which you need to rectify it. Last is don't compare. We've already spoken about this. Don't compare yourself with your colleagues. Don't compare yourself with, even like y'all are studying right now, don't compare yourself with your other students or other friends. You are who you are. You are an individual by yourself. Have faith in yourself and just give 100%. Stop saying that, okay, this person is so smart. He has such an amazing memory. He knows so much more, but I don't. Stop saying those things. You're automatically pulling yourself down. Without anybody else doing it, you're doing it to yourself. So stop comparing. Celebrate small wins. List all that you're proud of. You won medals in your schools, you won medals, or you've come first on some projects, or probably you've done some wonderful work. You've become a monitor, you've become a vice president in school. These are small wins. That's something you should always remember and never forget. Appreciate yourself for that. Never forget those wins, because those wins will take you forward in life. Learn to take a compliment. Give compliments, but also receive compliments with grace. So today, if somebody tells you you're looking beautiful, say thank you. Don't just say, yeah, just like yes, and then leave it there. Accept it. In fact, sometimes you can say, okay, what did you like the most in my dress? Did you like the way I have styled it? Did you like the color of my attire? Did you like my shoes? Did you like my accessories? What is it that you like? This is nothing but this will tell you and give you an idea about how the other person thinks, and it'll give you confidence, because we all love it, whether we agree to it or not. But we all love it when somebody comes and tells us that you look beautiful, you look stunning. The way you carry yourself, it's amazing. You've got some kind of personality. We all love it, whether we agree to it or not. Don't dwell on your imperfections. Move to improve. It's fine. We all, no humans are like 100% made with perfection from beginning. We all work towards perfection, correct? But we have to embrace our imperfections, and that is what we need to learn to do. Embrace our imperfections to become more confident as a person. So what does the word fail really mean to you? So to me, it basically says first attempt in learning. And I'll tell you why. Because when we learn to swim, or when we learn to cycle, or even when we learn to walk, we just don't learn how to do these things in the first day. We will never learn how to walk without falling 100 times, 200 times, or even 500 times. We will never learn how, to walk properly without actually falling. But does that mean that if we're like a year old, do we say that, no, I'm never going to now start walking in my life because I couldn't do it in the first time? We never say that. We never ever say that. Doesn't mean that, okay, in swimming, have you ever just learned swimming just by sitting in that one corner and without actually jumping into the water? No, you will never learn swimming. You can't just say that one day I will become confident just by sitting on that corner. You can't do that. You have to jump into the game. You have to become a part of that game. You have to jump into that situation. Sometimes jumping might be a mistake, but mistake is what will make you learn and will help you grow and succeed in your life and in your future. So don't get scared of failures. Failures are always your first step to your success. Now, how do we actually see the failed attempts? Don't take it to your heart. Whenever something has gone wrong or something's not gone the right way, forget about it. Like, don't take it to your heart. Don't sit over it and cry over it. Just learn and move on. There's nothing like failure. Every failure is nothing but your first step towards learning. You cannot get confident by just sitting on the sidelines and waiting to get confident. In fact, you have to be the person who will see, if you see the picture, you have to be that person. You can't say I won't do it, I can't do it. You have to say I want to do it. How do I actually do it? What are the steps? I'll try to do it. I can do it, I will do it, and then you will 100% do it and prove it. There is a theory which Ed Milet's thermostat says. It says life begins at the end of your comfort zone. The day you decide that I'm going to come out of my comfort zone and enter the most uncomfortable situations in life, that is where you're going to push yourself to say, hey, I am a confident person. Literally, that day you can call yourself as a confident person. Everybody can be confident in their own little circle, in their own little egg, in their own little bubble, and at their home. They will be like, they'll be like literally shouting in the house when it comes to their parents and showing their confidence level. But the same person, if put in a different situation, will not be able to talk at all. And there are so many people like that. But the day you are able to talk in that uncomfortable situation with the unknown crowd, in front of an audience who you don't know, or who are basically way higher to you in designation, profile wise, and you're still able to have a conversation with them, that is when you can say, I am confident. Surround yourselves with positive company. Grit is nothing but the courage. You need to have the courage to come out of your comfort zone. Push yourself. Act, and act. Very important. Just get out, just get up and do it. Focus. Move the focus from your ego to who you are to your actual task. Sometimes a lot of people just have that ego, and that ego is what pulls you down. Just separate your ego from the human you are and from the task that you're supposed to perform. Trust me, it works. It really does. For example, if there are conflicts or if there is a conflict between two individuals, sometimes it's just a conflict over ego. The day when they put their ego aside and they consider themselves as, okay, this is the first human, this is the second human, this is our conversation, this is our opinion. It's fine to have different opinions. You have a different opinion, I have a different opinion, because we're two different individuals. We have to sometimes shift and segregate and dissect where our focus needs to go. Knowledge gives us confidence, but yes, remember this, knowledge is equal to power, knowledge is equal to confidence. But if you do not know how to use your knowledge, if you do not know how to put or implement the knowledge in the right way at the right place, you will never be able to become confident, or you will never have that power. So knowledge is the potential power. You not only need to possess knowledge, you need to know what it means. You need to know how to implement it, where to implement it, and who to share it with. You should be aware about these facts. Confidence and arrogance are two terms that are sometimes, a lot of people say that when I talk, I think that I'm confident, but the other person thinks that I'm overconfident. No, a lot of times that other person might also not be thinking that you're overconfident. It's in your head. Confidence doesn't mean you have to show off or you have to be arrogant or rude or shrewd. Confidence means you have to be honest to yourself. You need to believe in yourself and have one-to-one normal conversations with anybody and everybody. Talk in an assertive mode of communication. Now, you out of these things, you can pick whatever works for you. I'm going to share what works with me. So for me, sometimes when I get a little too nervous, or sometimes when we go and give trainings in front of people who are like managers, senior managers, or even at director levels, when we do director programs, I get a little too nervous thinking, oh my God, I don't have that much experience. What if they ask me something and I'm not aware about it? What if I don't have an answer? What if I don't understand something? I still have that and I still get nervous, and it's absolutely fine. Today, even when our prime minister he gives speeches, he still is scared. It doesn't mean he's not scared or he shows it on his face. You are not supposed to show it on your face. So what I do is I do at least 10 to 20 jumping jacks before I do any of my training sessions. Any of my training sessions, because jumping jack, it basically it relaxes my body completely and it releases happy hormones, and it tells me that Kavisha, now you're happy and you're good to go, you're confident, you will be able to do it. It's fine, sometimes you might not, no individual can know everything in the world, but yes, you will do it. If you don't know the meaning, tell them you don't know and you will get back to them. Don't get scared, don't get nervous. So that is what I do. You can find a power pose. I'm going to show how what a power pose looks like. You can try doing a physical movement like either running, jogging, jumping jacks. You can try talking about affirmations. Say, I'm confident. I will able I will ace my interview today. I will ace my interview today. I will ace my interview today. Say it 5 to 10 times. Have that one person who's there to motivate you always. If you're a person who needs somebody's support all the time, then keep that person ready who will boost your confidence. Meditation, music, if you're a person who likes to listen to lift up, to just to uplift your mood, you'll be like, let me listen to that peppy music. Deep breathing, visualizing. A lot of people, they just become confident by visualizing themselves that, okay, I'm in front of public and I am the one who's going to be steering this entire conversation. They visualize it and that gives them peace, and that will basically it'll help that person overcome their anxiety and nervousness. And your feel good list, if there's something that you've kept and that motivates you or that tells you that yes, you can do it, read that list. When down, look for inspiration. Don't just stop. Listen to music, watch inspirational movies. There are some amazing movies on Netflix that you all can watch and that will really motivate you guys. It motivates me a lot at times. Reading success stories, visualizing, quiet time and breathing, and exercising. Affirmations, get out of your own way, no negative talks, only positive talks, and talking to yourself in a positive tone, positive words, and positive sentences. Accepting your personality, accepting who you are. You can have affirmations like, I am confident, I have the courage to show up and do, I bring value to what I do, whatever I do, I give my 100% and do well. So now sit down, analyze what is really stopping you from becoming confident. Is it the knowledge? Are you lacking knowledge? Is it the appearance? You're not confident about your appearance, your language, self doubt, fear of ridicule, or you're scared to be judged? What makes you say you're not confident out of these things? What do you really need to do to take the plunge to become confident? Sit down and identify which is that one factor out of these. Appearance. Try and look and be a part of wherever you go. If you're going to a party, dress like that. If you're going to an office, dress like that. But that doesn't mean that if you're a person who can't wear blazers or you're not very comfortable, you not necessarily have to wear blazers. You can just wear formal shirts, formal pants, and wear your belt. It's absolutely fine. So basically, don't try and look like others. Be yourself. Feel good when you wear that attire. Be in your comfort level. Be authentic to who you are. Don't try and copy others, and be appropriate to that occasion that you're going to be going to. Your voice, it needs to be in the lower tone, slow pace, language and diction. Be very careful of your language. The slang, you're not allowed to use slang words, no abbreviations, because not everybody will understand what you're trying to tell them. So be very careful. Do not be very harsh. Do not be very loud. Stay calm. People can ask any questions. They can ask stupid questions. They can ask dumb questions. You cannot get irritated and show that in your tone. You can't get angry or aggressive. You need to be calm, maintain your voice. Your body language needs to be open. Your posture needs to be straight, shoulders upright, back straight. Your gestures is nothing but your hand movements. It can't go like tuck, 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 because that becomes very distracting. But when you're talking, you can use a little bit. Like right now, when I'm talking, sometimes I will use my hands just to emphasize it. A lot of people will observe your body language, but they will not remember what you're talking. They will remember your body language. So, and power posing. 73% of the world population has fear of speaking in front of an audience. Why? Because they think that they lack content. Do your content research and have thorough knowledge about that topic. It should be relevant and it should be as per what the audience requires. Do your audience analysis very thoroughly. Know their demographics, know why they're there, and put yourself in that audience shoe and think that, okay, if I was an audience and if I would be attending this webinar, what would I have to say? What would I need? And then develop your content accordingly. Have your content structure in place, your flow, and make sure you stick to the timings. When you deliver it with passion, full enthusiasm and energy. Don't look like imagine if I'm just talking like this, like, okay, content knowledge, content research and knowledge, relevance and need of the audience, content structure, flow and timing. You guys are not going to be interested at all. Why? Because there's no enthusiasm, there's no energy, there's no passion. It just looks like I'm just reading it out from the slides to y'all, and y'all will not like it. Y'all be like, oh, I can just go and do my own research. Why am I attending her webinar for that? Put your experiences, put your stories in it, relate it to yourself and make it real. Practice, prepare, and then again practice, prepare for question and answers. People can ask you questions. Prepare yourself, ask yourself as many questions as you want from the audience perspective and prepare it accordingly. Sometimes you might not know. It's absolutely fine. You can get back to them later. Your pitch, it cannot be too high, it can't be too low. It needs to be like literally, it can't be high or it can't be low. It needs to be normal. Right now, the way I'm talking, your volume and audibility, it needs to be at a level where everybody should be able to hear you clearly. Your modulation needs to be there, because otherwise your tone will become very monotonous and people will lose interest. Your pronunciations need to be very, very clear. Your vocabulary and your articulation. Articulation needs to be there, is because a lot of times we forget what we're saying in that one paragraph, and we will use a lot of fillers like you know, I think, We don't want that to happen. Articulate it well before talking. Value of pause. You can't just go like tongue, 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 like a railway station, like, okay, voice, pitch, volume and audibility, modulation, emphasis, pronunciation, diction, vocabulary, and articulation. You can't go like that. You need to have pauses while you're talking to somebody or while you're making conversations with a group or even with audience, or when you're a public speaker. Avoid fillers. Body movements, your posture, your gestures. Maintain a smile, not a fake smile. You'll come to know the difference. Imagine if I was just talking like this. You'll be like, what is she doing? She doesn't even know how to smile. Why is she smiling like this with such a fake smile? So have a normal and a genuine smile. Fidgeting, learning, distractions, and pacing. Fidgeting is continuously playing with your hair, continuously playing with your watch, continuously playing with your fingers, rubbing your hands, tapping your feet. Avoid doing that. Those are nothing but signs of anxiety and nervousness. Eye contact, maintain eye contact with people who you're talking to. It's fine if you can't look, directly into their eye. Look at their forehead, look at their nose, and look at their chin. You can have your eye movement from here, then it goes to here, then it goes here, and then it goes here. It's absolutely fine if you don't want to look into that person's eye directly, and keep on moving, keep on having a rotating eye movement so that it doesn't look like you're staring. Facing the audience, hands. Not too many hand movements, but yes, certain and limited hand movements. Cardio and circulation. What does your pose really say? Our body posture affects our mind and our attitude. Power pose, it basically increases the levels of testosterone and decreases the levels of stress hormones. Our body language not only has an impact on how we are perceived, but it's basically about how we feel within ourselves. How do we feel from inside? Do we feel good? Do we feel satisfied or no? Your attire, I just spoke about this, comfort, true to you, decent and appropriate. Focus on yourself and not on your clothes. Your clothes shouldn't be like your clothes shouldn't wear you. You should wear your clothes. Don't have so many things happening on your clothes with too heavy makeup, with accessories and loud clothes. No, people are coming to listen to you. They're not coming to look at you all the time. They're not, yes, you need to be presentable, decent looking, good personality. But that doesn't mean that your clothes will cover you. Your clothes will basically cover your personality in total. You need to walk the clothes. The clothes cannot walk you. Okay, sorry. Okay. We are on managing performance anxiety. I'm extremely sorry. My laptop just played up a little. It went in the auto mode. Okay. Managing performance anxiety. So now what just happened to me right now? You all saw, right? My laptop just went on an auto mode. It went from the presentation style to the actual when we make the presentation. It went there, and if I would have panicked and I would be like, oh my God, let me see what happened. Like if I would have done all that, you all will be like, what is happening? But yes, things can go wrong and it's absolutely fine. At times, you can be in a situation where one thing or two things can go wrong, but it's under your control and it's in your control to basically make sure that you are able to be, you should be able to handle that situation. That situation should not handle you. You should handle the situation. Okay. Now, how to manage performance anxiety. This is something that all of us face. Build your own routine or ritual. What does this mean? Um, Basically, use one of the confidence hacks here. You can use jumping jacks, you can use meditation, you can use listening to music, you can do whatever suits you, basically. Pick one confidence hack and make that as your routine. Have some time to yourself when nobody is there. You basically need to reflect on yourself, what is going to happen, and think about it. You can listen to music to help you overcome anxiety. You can do deep breathing, cardio movements, affirmations, and visualization. Now, summary of steps to speak in public. Do pre-talks. Pre-talks is very, very, very important because when you do pre-talk, it basically boosts your confidence level. The more you practice, the better you perform. That is the simplest thing. Because even when you give exams, the more you've practiced, the more you've solved those questions, the more you've solved problems, you will be able to ace it in your exams. So pre-preparation is very, very, very important. Gather relevant content. Your content should be related to the topic that you're going to be talk on or on the conversation that you are having. It needs to be related to that. It can't just be like I'm having a conversation with you right now relating to confidence and public speaking, but I'm going to be talking about makeup to you. No, you all will not be interested because makeup is another topic and you all are here to listen to confidence and public speaking hacks. You all are not really interested in the makeup tutorial here. So it needs to be relevant. Build passion and belief. Address possible questions and queries. Write it down yourself that these are the potential questions that people can ask you and be ready to answer those. Practice, practice, and practice. Practicing is the key to everything. Lay out your attire, your laptops, your papers, your files, your chargers, your laptops, everything prior. Don't panic on that particular day or at that particular time. Prepare yourself with everything. Prepare your notes and have everything ready. Sleep well and eat right. If you have a session the next day, just don't go crazy and stay up the entire night. You will lose your focus. You need to sleep. It's fine if you have, probably if you've got like the most difficult exams and if you can't sleep 7 hours, it's fine. But sleep for at least 3 or 4 hours because your body needs that. Sometimes we basically overwork ourselves a lot, and we will prepare ourselves to an extent that when actually the time comes to perform, we are low on energy and we won't be able to think. So don't do that. Time yourself out. So sleep well and eat the right food. Plan for punctuality. Always be on time. Technical setup and testing. Always test whether it's your laptop, whether it's working, it's not working, your phone, anything, any technological equipment. For example, if you're going to be talking, your speakers, the podium speakers, your presentations, you want to check everything beforehand. Find out about potential audience and help them with handouts. A lot of times you can also prepare handouts where you can share it to them with what you're actually going to be talking before you start with your session or your conversation, or when you're going to talk in public. It depends upon whether you're giving a seminar or you're just having a normal conversation. Get your quiet time, your power pose. Okay, so your power poses is basically, there are certain power poses. This is one of the power poses. What happens? It gives you confidence. It makes you feel that, okay, I am the one who's steering this conversation. I am the one who has the authority. So it gives you that feel when you sit in this position with your back straight and your hands like this. One is this, putting your hands behind and sitting like this. This also gives you power, it gives you authority. It just tells you that, okay, you are the one who's going to be ruling. You just need to do these poses to give that energy. The flow of energy needs to happen in your body, and that's why you use these poses. So you can also just like stand straight with your legs like this. Stand straight but your legs apart, and then your hands besides that. That's also one of the power pose. So these power poses will actually help you to perform better. It'll release and give you those energetic hormones that will help you perform better. Your shoulders back, have a smile, deep breath, walk in, have that energy, that enthusiasm, and have the right eye contact. Have a powerful and a strong voice, but it also needs to be calm and composed at the same time. It can't be very rough, it can't be very harsh. It needs to be calm and composed, not aggressive, not passive, not passive aggressive. It needs to be assertive. Powerful opening and summarizing and closing. Your opening needs to be very, very powerful. You can use quotes, you can use facts and figures, you can use statistics, you can use your stories, you can share some experience, you can talk about some famous personality. You need to grab the attention of anybody, whether it's a person who's taking your interview to a person where you're just talking to anybody in your family, publicly, to your colleagues, to your boss. You need to grab their attention in the first 30 seconds. So talk something that has a lot of value, and that will boost your confidence level. And that will also make that other person say that, oh wow, this person is actually knowledgeable. That person knows what he or she is talking. Then summarize at the end. Summarizing is very important because a lot of people might not remember everything. But once you summarize at the end, you will get a gist of it. And your closing needs to be again very, very, very strong. And the last thing is to connect with the audience. Make sure you form some kind of connection with the audience. Make some kind of informal conversation. So today when I started, I made informal conversations with everybody. I asked you guys, how are you all doing? Your exams are coming up. You all are all ICAI students. Somebody asked me about how is Australia. So this is nothing but developing a connection and making sure that other person feels comfortable and even I feel comfortable. It's a two-way streak. Focus on your content and not on yourself. Absorb your content and avoid reading from notes. Yes, have your notes in the point format. Have your pointers. But when you're talking, associate examples to that. It shouldn't be like you're just reading it out from your notes or your presentation. Associate extra content to the pointers that you already have. Be aware of your body movements and be visible. Look big, look enough. Like, don't just slouch yourself all the way. Don't slouch and sit, or don't slouch and stand, or don't slouch and talk. Be open, open your shoulders, open your chest, and stand straight. So be aware of your body language and be visible. Keep your pulse on the audience and watch for non-verbal cues. Observe what are they doing. Are they like, going back to their phones? Are they like looking very distracted where they're looking left, right, or they're paying attention to you? Look at these non-verbal cues when you're making conversations. This will help you to determine whether you're on the right track or you need to change your track. Be aware of the time. So I know that right now I'm running super late and I've extended my time limit, but I know that I have prepared in content, which is 1 hour, but we started like almost 15 minutes late, 15-20 minutes late. So I know that I want to cover and make sure that y'all get maximum value out of this. But yes, I have a basically my eye on the watch right now. It's literally right in front of me. And I know like I time myself when I am delivering something. So you can wear your watch and keep the dial facing yourself instead of facing the crowd. Have a dial which is facing yourself so that when you do your hand movements, it doesn't look very obvious that you're looking at the time. It will just be a very normal way when you're talking to somebody. So you can use that trick. Address all the questions which are going to be asked to you at the end or which has been asked, or if you've missed anything, ask them. And in case you've still missed, then tell them that we don't have time, but email it to you and you will get back to them and you will actually get back to them. If any hitches, then minimize your attention, go on. It's fine. Sometimes some things can go wrong. Your mic can basically go off. You won't be audible. It's fine. Things can happen. Technical glitches are absolutely normal. Like right now, if I'm talking, but imagine if my Wi-Fi goes away or if my internet stops working. I can't do anything about it, right? It's not in my hand. So there's nothing to feel sorry about. It's something which is not in my hand. I can't control it. Things that I can control it, I will control it. But I need to know that these are the things I can control and these are the things that I can't control. So even if it goes wrong, it's fine. Don't dwell over it, don't feel bad over it, and don't curse it at all. It has happened, it has happened. People know it's not your fault. So forget, overcome it, and make sure next time that you're testing your Wi-Fi, you're testing your internet, you're doing everything properly. I've shared all of these confidence building techniques in my earlier slides. This is just a summary basically. So I'm just going to display it if you all can read it because I think it's already 8 o'clock and people want to leave. So I can also, if you all want this, I can share the presentation with Mr. Harith or Shruti. I can share the presentation with them and they will be able to share it with you guys if you all want to know, or if you all want to know what are certain things, you all want to go over it again, you all want to ask me any questions, you all want to get in touch with us personally and have any you all want to share any opinion, your incidences, or if you all have faced any issue and you're like, okay, how do we overcome this? Please feel free to do that. You all can email it to us anytime. This is our website. This is our email ID, marksimpressions@gmail.com. And these are our social media handles. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn called Marks Impressions. Follow us. You'll come to know what we do. Please ask us questions, get in touch with us, and feel free.
Ma'am, I would like to ask a question to you.
Yeah.
Yes, basically, ma'am, you said you are 25 years old. So, what made you reach at this position? What made you being a public speaker? What motivated you actually to reach to this goal, to this higher level extent, to create a mark impressions like concept?
So honestly, Radha, what happened is I first of all, I'm actually from the finance field myself. I have almost 4 years of experience with the Big Fours. I've worked with Deloitte for more than 3 years. I've worked with Boston Consulting for almost 2 years. I started at a very, very young age when I was just in my last year. And I just realized one thing that, okay, I want to do something where I can contribute and help people. So what can I actually do to help people? Staying in corporate, I won't be able to help people. How can I make a difference? I want people to not face the issues that I am facing or what I have been through. I have struggled a lot. I used to be a person who wouldn't be able to talk. When I still remember back in my school days, And back in my corporate days, I would be that one person who's sitting in that corner and just working, working, and working. I would be literally, you will just see piles of books. You will see novels on my table, you will see books on my table, and you will see my laptop. I would not go out, I wouldn't socialize, I wouldn't talk to people. My parents would be like, oh, we have to go attend this function, we have to go here, we have to go there. And I would be like, I'm not coming. I can't do that. And the reason I realized I was doing it is because I was so underconfident, and I made it so difficult for myself that I couldn't talk to people. I felt that, okay, I am not at their level. I don't understand things. I probably was scared to answer. I was scared that I wouldn't understand the meaning, not have an answer to their questions. Even at my workspace, I have come across a lot of situations where they'd asked me to do things. But normally, if you get into a big four, you already have certain kind of experience. And if you're a fresher, you already know certain things. But I was at a position where my person who I took over had already left, so they didn't give me a handover. So I had no idea. I was just given work, work, and work, and I had to figure it out myself. So I was so scared to go and even talk to my managers. I was so scared to go talk to my colleagues and even ask them like simple questions, which I could have done it easily, and they wouldn't even have felt that I'm dumb. But I didn't do it. Why? Because I was scared. And that's when I chose to get into this field where I was like, okay, I have faced these issues. I know what I've gone through, and I don't want anybody else to go through it. So let me become a certified trainer. So then I looked up for institutes while I was working. I did my course. I became an internationally certified trainer. And trust me, it took a lot of efforts. I would like literally, I still remember I had the days where I would be awake until 4 a.m. just talking in front of mirror, and I would just blabber, blabber, and blabber. It would be bullshit. And trust me, it would be bullshit. It wasn't like everything made sense. It wasn't that. I would just talk only because I wanted to get rid of that fear that I had inside myself. And the day I did that was the day when I wanted to make my own company. So today I can actually happily say that I am the owner, like I am a partner of Marks Impressions, and we conduct webinars across. We've got clients from Germany, we've got from UK, we've got from States, we've got from India, we've got from Australia. So I am definitely at a position where, and I had to push myself, and nobody else could do it for me but me. So everybody has those times, everybody has those days. Of course, all of us are pampered, and people who've been spoiled since childhood. We've been given everything with drivers and maids, and that's why we're into our comfort zone and we don't realize the importance. So yeah. And that's why whenever I develop content, I always make sure that my experiences are related, and I try and make it as basic and as relatable as I can, so that y'all can also ask me questions and y'all can relate to certain situations and then be more comfortable and open up. And hopefully this can inspire you or motivate you to even take one step. That means a lot to us. Today, even if you take one step after this webinar, it means a lot to us. So yeah, there we are.
Ma'am, have you ever felt the fear of being judged, and when you go, means when you were speaking or something like that, have you ever felt the being fear of judged and you can't speak? Then how do you just overcome that at
Yes,
that moment?
absolutely. I had the biggest fear of being judged, and I'll tell you why. Because honestly, I am short. I am legit short. People would make fun of me, and they've made fun of me throughout. I still remember my college days where people would be like, oh, I can drive the car, you can't even drive your own car. And I would just be like, I would feel sorry about myself. And I would just sit in that one corner and be like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And one day I just changed my perception and I was like, hey guys, you all know what? You guys drive yourself. You all spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes just to find parking. But I come in a chauffeur-driven car. I have a driver to myself who drops me to the gate. I don't have to come 20 minutes early so that to make sure that I don't miss out on that lecture and I reach on time. I just come at that time and all I have to do is just enter the gate, go up in there. So I just changed my perception. And the day when I gave that importance or when I made that statement, I still remember my friends didn't have an answer. After that, that was the day when I think after that, I don't remember them telling me anything that was negative or they stopped making fun of me completely. That's because I told them that I will have an answer to everything, is because I will start looking at things differently. I am in a position where I am changing my perceptions. So I was a person, so when I was talking about acne, I was a person who would be like full of acne and like dark skin and like whatnot back then because I never cared about these things. But I have worked so much, like I used to work out and I used to eat fruits, vegetables, and whatnot to get myself from where I was to what I am today. So, yeah, fear of judgment was the biggest thing for me. And it was very difficult, but you have to do what you have to do, right? Like today, all of y'all want a job in the big corporates. So push yourselves. And trust me, all of y'all will get like amazing opportunities, if not today, tomorrow, not tomorrow, then 3 years down the line. But don't lose hope. Don't lose your confidence. Don't let anybody pull you down. The day you give control of yourself to somebody else, you will never be able to climb up the ladder, no matter who that person is. I'm making it very clear. No matter who that person is, whether it's your friend, whether it's like your far-fetched family member, your cousin, whoever. So, yeah. Anybody has any other questions you all want to ask me? You all don't agree with, you all agree with, your opinions, your experiences, anything.
Okay, basically, I would like to share about my experience. Before you're saying that you should take an effort, even I am very much thriving to become a motivational speaker.
Oh, wow.
So basically, I motivate my colleagues, my batchmates, and all, and I have taken the initiative. And yes, I firmly believe that one day I would be in that great influential position. So that's my confidence.
That's amazing, Radha. That's really nice. Listen, okay, if you're a person who likes to do that, please listen to a lot of TEDx talks. They will really help you and motivate you. I am listening to podcasts day and night. I literally have them on my iPhone like continuously. Even when I'm brushing my teeth, my podcast is there playing in the background because that's something that motivates me. It's something that tells me, no, Kavisha, you can do it. Just push yourself, and push yourself. Because today also, because I have my own business, I can't just sit on it, right? We have to work hard for it. We have to reach to a level where we've got so many clients and people coming to us. We don't have to find them. So, yeah, that's amazing. And you will, if you've taken that one step, Radha, I'm sure you'll definitely become a great motivational speaker because it's already working with your colleagues. So, you already have that little bit of booster in you. So, 110%.
Ma'am, even I have a very relatable experience that you have faced in my childhood days. What was wrong? I mean, I was not like this. I had a tanned skin and I was a little bit healthy. And I always used to get teased of because of my tan skin and me being healthy, while other girls being uh, good looking and all that. But even I have come a long way, and when you share your experience, I could relate to it, and I'm just so proud that I could be where here that I am. So yeah, thank you.
That's amazing, Yashvi. That's amazing. So we've also, I think I'm sure all of us would have gone through
Yeah, at
certain
some
things
point of
back in
time.
the day. Like,
Yeah, definitely,
so it's just
definitely.
that few people are vocal about it and few people are not vocal about it. But all of
Exactly.
us have faced certain situations, certain circumstances, certain criticism. It's just about taking those criticism and converting into learnings. That is what we have to do. That's the entire journey. Don't become a person who's just criticizing. Don't become a person where people can just come, walk over you, criticize you. If they criticize you, it's absolutely fine. It's okay. But take that challenge. Okay, why did they criticize? How can I work and how can I get back to that person so that you are up there and you're able to prove yourself? So change criticism into constructive learnings. That's all I would say. So yeah, that has been my journey. Anybody else has any questions? Y'all are facing any situations? Y'all have certain issues, or y'all are demotivated, or you're lack confidence, and you don't know where to start from.
Ma'am, you had in your while you were telling, you had told that there are some Netflix movies which are really inspiring. So can you just share the list which
Oh,
you
sure,
have seen and
absolutely.
are inspired?
Sure. I can share it with Mr. Harit, and he can
Yeah.
send it to you guys. So there are a lot of shows that I watch, a lot of movies that I watch, and they're really inspiring. They do. Like, at least it does help me for sure, because I see kids and the way those kids have taken those challenges, it's just amazing to see that. And they're all actual stories. So I will share those names, and he can definitely share it with all of you all. And to improve your English language, if you all don't like reading, please watch Netflix shows. I know people will say it's bad, but trust me, it's not bad. Watch shows, you will increase your vocabulary, you will learn a lot of new words, you will be up there. And start implementing those words. Like, first write it down, make a notepad, write down those words. Whenever you're watching a movie you don't understand, note the words down. After the end, Google the meaning, write down the meaning. Do that every day, do it for 10 days, and you will see the difference. And I bet you will, because I have actually seen people coming back to me and saying that they've learned like almost 50 new words and meanings, and now they actually use it in their day-to-day life. And people are like, oh wow, when did you start using these kind of words? So whenever you have the time, I understand you all are super busy and you all have a lot of things to do. But in case if you all have time, take some time out. If you like reading, nothing like that. Read books, read novels, read news. Like news, I would say everybody needs to read it so that you all can make normal conversations with anybody and everybody. Just read, like what I do every morning is have your BBC. Just have like 5 tabs: BBC, Bloomberg, Times of India, sports, and your economic times. I read all these 5 in the morning, and I of course read Perth time because I'm in Australia right now. So first thing in the morning I do is get these tabs up and running. Of course, after my workout in the morning, I don't like to look at my phone until a certain time because I don't look at a screen for 8 to 9 hours in the day. And when I start my day, I started with these news and then I move on. So I basically keep 2 reminders in the entire day. I watch these 5 news channels twice in the day so that I kind of keep myself updated with what's happening in the world. Even with elections, what's happening, if there are certain things that has happened, weather changes, whatever. Because this gives me an edge to have a conversation with anybody since we deal with clients across the globe. So these are just certain tips that, and even if you're a person who does not feel confident, but if you keep yourself up as per the trend, if you're into fashion or whatever y'all are into, and if you're up there and y'all have proper knowledge, you will not need to do anything more to get confidence boosters. Because these things, when you talk to people and when you say these things, they will look up to you, they will respect you, and that will boost your confidence. You will not have to do anything more than this. So yeah, y'all can, if y'all can implement it, it's great. It took a while for me to implement it. It wasn't easy. So, but yeah, now it's become a habit. Listen to podcasts. They're amazing. They're really motivating. And the YouTube, of course, if you look up to somebody, inspirational videos, they really work. They do.
Finally, I would like to ask is that since examinations are nearing, so whenever I set a target for this much to do complete, so I am unable to attain it. So it kind of lowers my esteem. So what can be done for it?
So Radha, first thing is, are you setting a real deadline? First of all, because if it's happening continuously, if you're not able to meet your targets continuously, identify why are you not able to do that? Are they your real deadlines, or you're just putting those deadlines to complete your portion before you have your exam, so that you want to revise, you want to make sure that you're doing everything, you want to give some extra tests online and stuff like that. Are you actually, first thing is to ask yourself, are these the real deadlines? Second is, okay, if this is my deadline, for example, if I have put a deadline and I have given my deadline saying that I'm going to finish reading 50 pages every day, this is my deadline, but I am never able to read 50 pages. So how many pages am I actually able to read? Is it 20? Is it 25? Is it 30? Because that is my real capacity. That is the actual ability. Even though I have the ability to read 50, but in my brain, only those 15 or those 20 pages will get registered. Anything beyond that is just going to go up my head. So first, you need to understand your real ability or capability, or understanding that are those the realistic deadlines for yourself. If they are realistic, then okay, then time yourself. What are you doing during the day? Are you waking up on time? Are you, if for example you've planned that I have to give 4 hours in the afternoon and 3 hours in the night, am I able to do justice to that? Ask yourself these questions, because until and unless you just keep on setting deadlines, but you don't notice that how are you using those 12 hours in the day to meet your deadline, you will never be able to meet the deadline. So dissect it completely. See that in that 12 hours, 3 hours you're studying. Then, okay, when it comes to food, are you spending 1 hour, 2 hour, half an hour? Then you're watching some series, how much time are you spending? 1 hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes. And then once you know, do this analysis for 2 to 3 days, because that will kind of give you an idea on what does your normal routine or day looks like, and how much can you put in into reading. And then set a deadline and see if you're able to meet that deadline. So have I answered your question, Radha?
Yeah, kind of. Yet also, I'm a little bit perplexed because you are saying to meet our real deadlines. Like you are
Correct.
trying to say that to keep a tracker that what I'm doing at what time. Is
Correct.
it okay?
Yeah, because unless you don't keep a track, Radha, you will really not know. A lot of times what happens is we estimate that, okay, we will spend only 20 minutes an hour lunch, but your actual time that you put in your lunch is more than 1 hour, or it'll be 1.5 hours, but you don't realize that. You just think that, no, I had taken into consideration. And then at the end of the day, you'll wonder that, okay, why couldn't I complete my 50 pages? Why was I not able to finish what I decided to finish? So keep a track on what you are doing. And then once you know exactly your routine, notice it for 2 to 3 days, because that will give you an exact clarity. And then you'll be able to set a more realistic deadline and then see if you're able to meet it or not. So clear, Radha?
Yeah, I will implement it.
Great. That's great. In case if you have any further questions, you can definitely reach out to us. That's fine. We're always there. You can just
Sure.
email it to us on marksimpressions@gmail.com.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else? Or everybody is like, oh, we've understood everything.
I think everybody is motivated. You can see the comments. Everybody love the lecture, love the session. Thank you, Kavisha. And,
That's great. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. So, yeah, I don't know. I haven't really read the comments yet. But I would just say one thing, guys. Y'all are at a stage where y'all have a lot of time and y'all have a long way to go. Don't give up. Make the best use of the time that's available to you right now. Don't waste the time. Use it to your advantage. Use the lockdown to your advantage. If you like doing something, do that. Don't think about it twice. Don't think about what people are going to think about you. Like, stop doing that, because y'all are just, y'all are not living the life and y'all will not be happy from within if you stop doing that. If y'all like adventures, then do something. Do something about it. Like when I came here to Australia, I had literally a checklist. I was like, every weekend, I was like, okay, I'm going to go riding. I'm going to do sand dunes biking. I'm going to do pedaling, sunset pedaling. I'm going to go cycling by the beach. And I would literally do that. I had literally made a list in that entire 2 months on the weekends that these are the things that I want to do and make sure, like, even though my husband would be like, I'm tired, I'll be like, no, we're going. So sometimes you have to push yourself and push the other person to make yourself happy. Others do it to make themselves happy. You need to do it to make yourself happy. Okay. So, yeah, anybody else? Anybody else has any other questions? If we can help you all with something. Okay, I think there are a lot of comments, but if there are certain questions, please ask them directly so that I can address them. If there are any unanswered questions or if there are any questions that you all have asked and I have not addressed it, please unmute yourselves and ask me that question. Okay, I think Harith, we are done.
I think very
Because
well. Yeah, I think all the comments, I was just reading the comments, all very inspiring and all relatable. So thank you so much, Kavisha. I would request the Shruti or Jay to give the word of thanks for the session.
Yes, ma'am. It was really an amazing session. We really learned a lot of things. I must say, and I must say, everyone, each one of us, we all learned something or the other. Your story, in fact, is really inspiring, and we really learn a lot of things. So we'll definitely try to implement everything you taught us, and we'll surely make a difference. We'll surely try to make a difference in our lives, and we'll make it. Thank you so much.
thank you so much, Shruti. It's great that I'm receiving these comments, but I will really be happy when you all implement it. I don't want to just hear that, okay, it's inspiring, it's amazing, we will implement it and we will do it. I want you all to do it and prove it to me and tell me that this is the difference that you've made and I have been able to do this. I'm not saying implement everything because I know how difficult that is. Implement one thing, I will be more than happy. I just want a feedback from y'all and I want y'all to come and tell me that, okay, I have done this, this is a challenge and this is how I've overcome. That is the thing that will tell me that, yes, I was inspiring. I don't want like normal things saying that, oh, the session was amazing, great, we've learned, we're going to implement. No, I want it. Come back to me when y'all actually do it. And that is the time when I'll be like, no, y'all actually did it. That will be
Yes, ma'am.
inspiring for me then.
We'll surely share our feedbacks and we'll surely implement these things in our life.
Great. Thank you so much, Shruti. That's great.
So now I would like to request Jay to give concluding remarks.
Thank you so much, Shruti. And in fact, thank you so much, Kavisha ma'am. I really started to apply your hacks. Right now, I just did my jumping jacks. I changed my t-shirt. I had a face wash. Right. So I'm feeling better, more confident to speak in front of you. Earlier, I
That's
was not.
great. So
So,
earlier you switched off your camera.
sorry.
So did you switch off your camera earlier and now you're like, oh no, now I'm going to switch on my camera and talk.
I was just preparing for my speech. I was really underconfident, but I'm now I'm confident very much, pretty well. So
That's great.
thank you so much, ma'am. We really had a great session today, and also this was the 15th session of Paramarsh series. So thank you, participants. Thank you all of the students who made it happen, who really made it a success. I would just like to request you all to share your feedbacks and suggestions in the group. We have already made the group named Paramarsh. So जो भी ऐड नहीं हुए इस सेशन के या कोई भी सेशन के, तो प्लीज मुझे कांटेक्ट करें या दिव्या को कांटेक्ट करें या हरित सर को कांटेक्ट करें. सो विल ऐड यू इन दैट ग्रुप एंड शेयर योर फीडबैक्स, शेयर योर सजेशंस. एक अनाउंसमेंट है आज की, ये वाली जो परामर्श की सीरीज है आज हम पॉज कर रहे हैं और वापस हम इसे दिवाली और एग्जाम्स के बाद चालू करेंगे. तो एज मैम सेड कि अगर आप लोगों को ट्राई करना है, इनफैक्ट आई वाज रियली हैप्पी टू मीट दिस गर्ल राधा हियर. इफ यू आर हियर राधा, आई वुड जस्ट लाइक टू टेल यू, Vikasa Ahmedabad is really open and really welcome you to provide you a platform, right? You want to be a motivational speaker, we will be really happy and equally glad to have you with us to give session to the students, right? You can share your views, and each and every participant here attending this session, लाइक एक चीज मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि एक जो लोग होते हैं एक कान से निकाल सुनते हैं, दूसरे कान से निकाल देते हैं, राइट? एक रंग दे बसंती एक मूवी है, दैट वाज रियली इंस्पायरिंग, और उसमें आमिर खान का एक डायलॉग है कि एक लोग जो मतलब या तो जो हो रहा है उसे देखते रहो चुपचाप, या तो फिर खुद जिम्मा उठाओ उसे बदलने का, राइट? सो हमारे पास वो आज अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि हम लोग कौन से में से वो बनना चाहते हैं, लाइक हम चुपचाप देखना चाहते हैं या फिर हम वो जिम्मा उठाना चाहते हैं ये बदलने का, ठीक है? तो रियली विकासा इज जस्ट लाइक लिविंग अ कट अबाउ. बाकी सब कमर्शियल प्लेटफॉर्म्स और जो भी एसोसिएटेड है विकासा से, दे आर एयरफोर्स पायलट्स.
Yes, Jay, I'm here only. I'm hearing you out. I would be liking to coming forward in Vikasa and serving myself for delivering my speech and all. I'm really interested to do that.
We'll be really more than happy to have you with us.
So Kavisha, you have succeeded right now only. You know, there's one person who's already started to take up the lecture.
One, yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. There's a live
I was about
that
to
you're
tell.
giving. And
Yes.
No. I'm extremely happy. That's great, Radha. Best wishes and good luck. I'm so happy that all of y'all are like literally implementing things like from now. Like Jay is like, okay, he actually felt confident, more confident to switch on his camera and talk, and he's actually doing that right now. Radha is taking her step. She's already taken the first step. This will be her second step, where she will be more visible to the entire ICAI community, and she'll be able to motivate way like more than probably thousands of people, because you guys are like a small community in itself with thousands of people. So that will give her a lot more opportunities. So that's amazing. I'm so happy.
I'll also take that tanning skin thing from you and Yashvi. So I'll also take that, start implementing that for the better, I think. But it was a wonderful session, Kavisha. And yes, Jay, if you want to conclude something.
Yes, let me tell you, ma'am, the first step we had taken to boost our confidence is to attend this session. We have attended this session and we have already took our first step ahead to boost our confidence and self-esteem. So thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Yes, right. So I'll be just concluding this with announcing our future events. That is charity event. We are doing this on Diwali, right? So anyone wants to join, information is on our Instagram page, on our WhatsApp groups. So you can join, you can contact any of the managing committee member of Vikasa Ahmedabad, and you also are a brand ambassador of Vikasa, being a student of chartered accountancy in Ahmedabad, right? So let's cherish our student life. Let's grow together. Yes, thank you. I rest my words here. Over to you, Shruti Gupta. Thank you so much.
Okay, can I have one request? I would want everybody who's present, can I have your cameras on, please? I can see Nitisha, Shruti, Anjali, Utsavi, Mohit, Divya, Radha, Redmi Note 9. Interesting. And the others, Akshat. Whoever is present right now, all of them, can I request everybody to please switch on their cameras? Okay, so we are waiting for Mohit, Nitisha, and Divya.
I think Divya is there.
Divya, now I can see Divya, I can also see Nitisha. Now we are waiting for Mohit. Mohit, can we have your camera on, please? Or are you away? Mohit,
I guess, ma'am, as you said, this takes time to build a confidence. I guess Mohit needs some time. So
Mohit needs a little more time, and Akshat also needs a little more time than I think. Except Mohit and Akshat, everybody has taken something or the other. Then everybody is shown and taken that first step today. Okay, so
Yes,
I'm gonna
ma'am.
take one picture. So I'm just gonna say 1, 2, 3. Please smile. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, done.
Do
Thank
share
you
it with us,
so
huh,
much,
ma'am?
guys.
Do share
Sure.
that pic with us.
Sure. I'll
Yeah.
share it for sure. I'll definitely share it. And I'm gonna wait for you guys to get back to me with what you all have achieved after this. Okay. So Harith, I'm gonna wait to hear back from you.
Definitely. Yes,
Great.
thank you.
In fact,
Okay.
yes. Thank you, Fanil Shah sir. Thank you, Harit sir. Thank you, Anjali ma'am, to really motivate us to organize a session. And thank you so much, Harit sir, for letting us know, letting us meet Kavisha ma'am. Right. So thank you so much, sir. And thank you, Vikasa team, for just working entirely in their exams. They are working. Vikasa team, right? So thank you, entire Vikasa team, and thank you, Shruti Gupta, for handling this session, moderating this session. You were really great today. Yes, over to you, Shruti.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking this session. We're really grateful to have you with us, and it was really a very interactive session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Harith. Okay.
And whenever you happen to come to Ahmedabad, you are most welcome to come to our branch. We'll be having a live session with you at Ahmedabad also. And I'm sure everybody would love to listen to live also. So
Sure. For sure. Whenever I
Real
decide
life.
to come and visit Ahmedabad next.
sure. Thank you, Kavisha.
Thanks, Harith. Great. See you guys. Bye.